Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face.
Hmm.
Welcome to Thank God It's Monday. I'm your host, Eric Twiggs. Joining me is Ted Fells, and we are the Digital Dudes. And today we're going to talk about the secret to becoming unstoppable. And that quote I just mentioned came from Mike Tyson. It really does have something to do with what we're going to talk about today. That's why I mentioned it. But I'm reminded, Ted, of something that happened to me several years ago. And I've shared this before, but I think this is appropriate to talk about today. Several years ago, I was an assistant manager and I'm working for an automotive service corporation. And during that time, things aren't going well for me. I'm not getting promoted. The location I'm working at is like 45 minutes from where I'm living. Things aren't going well. And so then I get approached by a competitor, right? This district manager from a competitor says, Eric, man, I've been checking you out. You do a great job. We'd love to have you come work for us. I'm like, excellent, man. This is great. I'm not happy where I am anyway. This is great. So he makes me this offer, and it's significantly more than what I'm making. And this is on a Wednesday. Makes me the offer. I'm like, cool, this is great. He says, okay, I'm going to call you on Friday and we'll just work out the formalities and the particulars, but it's pretty much a done deal. So he calls me on Friday and he says, things have changed. We've had this reorganization within our company. It's something happened. So I'm not going to be able to make you the offer at this time. Man, I was blown. I mean, I felt like I got punched in the face. I mean, it felt like a rejection because I really thought this was a done deal. But something strange happened. 3 weeks later, my company, they called me and promoted me to a location that was larger volume and I'm making more money. And it's 5 minutes from my house, like 3 weeks later. And then several weeks after that, I get promoted again to my own location. Several months after that, I got another promotion. I mean, then literally, had it not been for that rejection, I don't know that I'd be sitting here talking to you right now. Like if I had gotten what I thought I wanted, what if I had gotten what I thought was a great thing at that time, who knows? Because all of those steps ended up leading me to where I am now. And this gets us to the secret to becoming unstoppable. Here it is. You have to view rejection as redirection towards something better. You want to become unstoppable. The key is to view rejection as redirection towards something better. See, most people, they take rejection as a punch in the face. They take rejection and they just stop. But if you really view rejection as redirection, you become unstoppable. So one of the keys is, what questions are you asking yourself when you experience a rejection? Are you saying, okay, why me? Why is this happening? Or are you asking, what now? That's a different thing. If you ask what now, you'll be in position to become unstoppable. You'll see rejection as redirection, and you'll be able to shout, "Thank God it's Monday." So, Ted, what are your thoughts?
Man, that was a great example. I think you do have to look at everything as the try to look at it as the glass is half full versus half empty. Like that's really what it comes down to. I mean, there's been times again where there's been business opportunities that we've pursued that we didn't get, and it was like and then you find out something crazy happened with that particular opportunity. It never got off the ground. Something like you never know, right? You never know what's going to happen. You didn't know that if you would have gotten out of the position, that you would have missed 2 to 3 other promotions after that. Like you would have never known. And so it's you gotta and to be honest, I mean, the rejection, there is some disappointment, right? Like, let's be honest, right? You're not gonna be all right. Reject this is great. This is great. It's okay. It's okay. No, I mean, it's gonna be some disappointment, but you have to once you kind of fall, you got to kind of get up, dust yourself off, and then still kind of get it together and move forward because you don't know, right? It could be a blessing in disguise. I mean, you could have gone to another company and had a crazy supervisor or crazy team. Your situation was you ended up being in a familiar environment, a better situation, more money. If you had an opportunity to say, okay, would you rather go to a new company with a bunch of unknowns, stay with the same company and get, 2 to 3 more promotions and be able to be closer to your home? You would have probably decided to stay with the, what you had going. Right. So yeah. So the positive thing is, yeah, another company sees that you were doing great work, right? And they thought, hey, we want that guy. But another positive thing is your current company thought you're doing great work also. So yeah, man, I just think it's you just have to try to look at it again like the glass is half full versus half empty. But it is okay to show some disappointment. I mean, I think that's just human nature. Just don't let it, keep you down. Like you just gotta, get up and keep it moving.
Yeah, so I think the key is you have to recognize that there is a bigger plan, right? And so sometimes, even if from a business standpoint, if you don't get that contract, it doesn't mean that your ultimate goal, the ultimate plan is shot. So
Right.
sometimes that redirection could be, I need to revisit my presentation. I need to revisit how I'm doing these proposals. I need to revisit my team. I need to. So the key is to not stop, to never stop, because you really don't know how close you are. You never know how close you are. And this Ted, this could be like an hour thing if I told you even more than that, all the times where I had no idea how close I was to that next thing. So you just never know. The key is to not stop.
One other thing is are you really ready for that next thing?
Mm,
Right? Like I've had opportunities where we didn't win a certain contract and then it made you go back and think, well, was I really ready for it? Let me get ready for it. Let me make sure I'm really ready for it. Right? Because before, once I found out that it was a possibility, then you start thinking a certain way, right? Keep thinking that way. Still continue to prepare yourself, for that next that you're looking at, right? So, because the next could be even bigger. This
yep.
one you may have missed this one because this may have been a distraction for the bigger one.
Right. Right. You might have been out of position. If you got this one, you might have been out of position for the one that is really the right thing. So it's all in your perspective. That's the secret to becoming unstoppable. That's our time for this week on Thank God It's Monday. Speaking of being unstoppable, don't stop watching and don't stop listening.
That's right. And sh-
That's
and
right.
sh- and and sharing.
Don't stop sharing. Make sure you
Don't
share the
stop.
show.
Share the show. Share the
Absolutely. We
show.
appreciate you. Thank you for watching and listening. Until next time, have a great one.